A slow game to start, Lucid says, and that is as soon as the game starts. So perfect timing, but we are just going to go ahead, hop right into things. Cyberstorm CS versus Team Clarity facing off on Overpass at the moment. Looks like knife round did go the way of Cyberstorm, but to start off, I mean, I feel like both these teams, they have really interesting storylines heading into this game. Just hopping straight into things. On the side of Team Clarity, you're going to have Heavy, Caber, Dolphy, Alexander, and Spammer. And then Cyberstorm has Yahoo, Rin, Mozzie, Conan, and Anti. Definitely interesting players to take a look at, considering both these teams are fresh off of a loss in their last game. Both seeking revenge and both looking to get off to a hot start. It's going to begin with Team Clarity on the offense here. Caber and Spammer going to be both buying up utility, and then meanwhile it's only one player with utility on the side of Cyberstorm. Early water control, excuse me, not water control, connector control will be taken by Team Clarity at the moment, but some duels coming out over towards long do seem to be going the way of Team Clarity at the moment. It's a 1-for-1 trade, 4-on-4, but still well over a minute left in the round here. And the slow game is anything but, as already trades have happened apiece for both teams here. And if you've noticed, the B control for Cyberstorm CS right now is very, very passive. You notice that they only have 2 players at the moment dedicated towards it, but those rotates are very quick to happen. Both of them are actually opting for boosts, interestingly enough, here, Conan and Mazzy. Mazzy most likely will be getting all the action first off here. He has only 6 HP to his name, but stuck in a headshot angle like this, it's probably his best bet to get some damage done here. Most likely will take a few pop shots and actually do a pretty good job at it, taking down one, but the Molotov and the push will come soon through from Clarity, and they will guarantee this bomb plant, if nothing else here. So post plant begins 3-on-3. It can go either way at the moment. And now this becomes a tougher task for Cyberstorm here. They still have the player with a kit in Rin, trying to push up slowly through bank, and also has a smoke to work with, but definitely need to hit the shots, and that's exactly what you need to see. Rin off to a good start on this retake. Now we'll be tossing out a smoke over by his feet, letting his team do all the work, get all these kills, while he just sticks a bomb all by his lonesome. And Conan, unfortunately, isn't able to get the double, but it gets the job done perfectly. Cyberstorm will steal away that first round off the back of a nice play and a nice kit maneuverment, smoke maneuvering from Rin. Allows him to take that first one in a pretty fantastic fashion as well. I really like that boost that they're doing on both the A and B site. Now, obviously, the one on the B site wasn't necessary whatsoever from Cyberstorm, but it did them just fine in staying safe and being ready for those rotates, and just keeping the players alive ended up working out for them perfectly. Flash through from Rin, Anti will peek behind it. No point of contact. And so already off to a slower start than we saw in that first round. No picks going the way of either team at the moment. And you see that Cyberstorm have actually dedicated 3 players over towards B. Something that we didn't see from them on that pistol. And this kind of reeks of a counter strategy from Cyberstorm here, but it doesn't seem to be giving them exactly the results that they want here. Fully flash, the CTs will respond perfectly. It's Anti picking up 2 on the rotate. Will come the CTs. Cyberstorm CS, though, just because the economy is not in their favor whatsoever, just because of that T economy being so strong, it eventually leads to Team Clarity being able to get the bomb down and really become the prime candidates to take away this round. Spammer, unfortunately, caught off guard, caught while reloading. Dolphy will upgrade to a Galil. Nice little team play from Caber and Dolphy. I like that one. It might actually allow Dolphy to get the kill that he needs, and walking straight into the crosshairs will be Yahoo, and that will lead to his death inevitably. It will be Mozzie, the player to watch, stuck alone versus 2, and unfortunately will only find 1. But the team play comes through from Team Clarity, and they are going to be able to pick up their first in this round. In this game, I should say, excuse me. That's a pretty hot start from them. I really did like that neat play that they had. Just, tossing the gun over to your teammate, and, it ended up working out pretty well for them. Full pistols on the board from Cyberstorm. You see a quick flash comes through. No one will be peeking behind it. You saw Anti get set up for a flashbang from Rin last round, but it looks like they won't try to repeat history this time around, unless it go the same way. And it's also important to mention that Cyberstorm, even though they didn't end up losing the round, quite obviously, Team Clarity did manage to drop 4 players in the midst of winning that round, so their money isn't exactly in the healthiest state at the moment, so it's pretty vital for them to get out of this one in a clean fashion and obviously win the round as well. Hebe is going to be the first person in, making contact with one player and the second one as well. Not a bad start. They drop 1 player but get 2 on the return. That's a pretty good investment, avenging his teammate and causing some rotation to come on over from Cyberstorm. They'll dedicate 2 players over towards A. Team Clarity, now where do they want to take this one here? They have the man advantage and still plenty of time to spare. Time is no object for them. But surely they have to expect some sort of rotation by now. Cyberstorm, click to rotate. Surely it's got to be predictable from Team Clarity. It doesn't seem that they want to go in with a lot of utility, and it might lead to their downfall. Luckily, the utility comes a little bit later, but Anti is still in a perfect position to find at least one here. The deagle shots to the body don't quite finish the job, but it's Rin with a P250, finds one, and again, it's another pretty costly round from Team Clarity, but it does net them the win in the end, and that's what's more important more than anything, because also, if you notice at the very end of things, they did manage to get the bomb down as well. Gives them a little bit of money to line their pockets with, and Team Clarity are looking good. Cyberstorm, not exactly a similar story to them. You see they're kind of forced onto these default pistols. You'll see one upgrade in the form of Anti, just going up to a P250, but it's going to be all hands on deck as they enter water at the moment. Why do I keep saying water? That's not water. That is blue. Water is blue. Maybe that's the kind of connection I'm trying to make. But Team Clarity seem fully ready for this connector stack. Although 4 players of Cyberstorm are ready, willing, and able to hit the shots, Clarity surely are going to try to take this slow and really try to outlast everything that Cyberstorm are bringing to the table. Passive positions galore from the CTs. Spammer might be the first head in. Spots a player on top of that little shelf. Toss out a nice welcome mat, forcing Yahoo out of position. That nade does a healthy amount of damage. Holy hell! He's just staring at the kill feed. A dunk onto Anti, and he's going to get 2 more on top of that as well. Clean it up with your Mat 10. In fact, if he can make an ace, that would be even sweeter, but Caber is going to steal all the glory. That nade was an absolute dunk. I want to see how much util damage that was. 253 from that grenade. You can't get much healthier than that. Off to a hot start, to say the least. 6-3 is the score for him. And 3-1 is the score for the teams at the moment. Quite obviously, both teams will be able to buy up into this one. So Cyberstorm, surely they won't meet that same fatal demise that they saw last time. And they will be able to counteract these HE plays and anything else that Team Clarity bring to the table. Notice that all but 1 player have decided to upgrade their gun. Spammer is still on that Mac 10. Not that it's going to really make too much of a difference for them. See, water controls not quite taken from Cyberstorm either. Going through connector will be Team Clarity, and Yahoo should be totally ready for this. Mozzie will have his back in case things go south, but he's stuck on a glass cannon AWP setup, and this is where things become a little bit dangerous. If Clarity hit their shots, maybe Cyberstorm will be out of this one completely. It's off to a good start. Alexander gets one. Mazzy, nice little shot on the jumping player in air, but Clarity are able to overrun them in the end. Molotov into bank allows them to get a clear plant and a clear chance at winning this round. It's looking clear for Clarity. And now this becomes a nigh impossible situation. It becomes very, very hard for Cyberstorm. They realize it as well. They're just going to go ahead and save their guns. They didn't invest any heavy amount of utility into this one. Also important to mention, there's no kits on either of the remaining players of Cyberstorm, so they realize it's, yeah, most definitely their best bet just to go ahead and try to save these guns. Not exactly sure what Alexander threw that flashbang for, but, well, $200 down the drain, but another round on the board for Team Clarity, and really, at the end of the day, that's what's most important. The bomb goes up in flames, and so will Cyberstorm's chances of taking that second round. That's the first gun round down the drain for Cyberstorm as well, and the CT economy is really rough in a lot of scenarios. So, although Cyberstorm did absolutely everything that they had to do, they only dropped 2 players aside to save every single gun that they had otherwise. It's still not going to be the prettiest buy to speak of. You see Yahoo will opt to get a lot of utility alongside Mozzie, but both are stuck on FAMASas. A peek out from Mozzie, perhaps has second thoughts about it. but aggressive water control this time will be taken from the Clarity side this time around. Jump spot from Conan leads to no punish, and a little bit of a spray comes through onto Heedy. Good punishing so far. Alexander looked at entry very early on in the round, but he doesn't want to fire his shot before it's too late, before there's any capitalization possible from his team. Spam comes through, leads to nothing. And now things come to a standstill for the time being. Team Clarity can most definitely afford to take it slow. There's no reason to rush this. You have a pretty massive buffer of money at the moment just because they've been able to get the bomb down so many times. You have an AWP, you know, go ahead and try to work a pick here. They most definitely can afford it. Team Clarity, patience is one hell of a virtue. They're going to bring it over towards bathrooms at the moment. A jump spot from Maziwu. Does spot one. He'll toss out a nice little welcoming smoke grenade. Will otherwise back off. His teammate kind of stuck in no man's land at the moment. But first point of contact will begin soon. Heedy looks like he wants to be the man to bring the heat to Cyberstorm at the moment. He's looking all around, but he's checking all the wrong places. It's going to be one frag for each team here as a 4v4 begins. Not much time left on the clock to spare, but the rotates should be so strong from Cyberstorm CS. They're looking primed to take their second round, I should say here, but the picks are no slouch either from Team Clarity. As a 2v2 begins now, a retake is not looking as likely as I thought. Smoke through on the bomb. Spammer will look to peek it, take down one. Can he get the second though? Playing around the smoke will be Anti, but he's just kind of giving himself up. And now at this point, Anti, such a tough task. Did Spammer actually hit that shot? What? That was a one dink with a P250, and it was a disgusting looking one at the same time as well. Pause comes through. Clarity, they're looking hot so far. But Cyberstorm most definitely need to talk about things for a while, because I feel like of all the rounds that we've seen so far, that was their most promising one yet. They were in perfect scenarios, or perfect situations, perfect positions to come out on top of that round, but just kind of lost every duel that they needed. Thanks to Spammer and Alexander both showing up massively. And, you know, how can you improve on that other than just, you know, take better duels forehead? It's easier said than done in a lot of cases. Cyberstorm unfortunately threw that one away, and it was looking promising, but unfortunately they get what they pay for. And it's not going to be the healthiest buy heading into round number 7 here. Lots of utility across the board, but no rifles. No nothing. The alligator from Spammer, I actually have no idea. I'll give it a shot, but I thought it was an X-ray, and it looks like Yahoo has the X-ray. Apparently just tosses a few shots at Spammer through the smoke and takes him down. That's the Opera out of the picture. And this becomes a significantly more nasty picture for Cyberstorm. They've been given some guns to work with. Caber, unfortunately, no refrag comes through. And another one from Maziwu as well. What is going on? Cyberstorm seem to have better luck on these eco rounds than they do full gun rounds. Smoke through into heaven. It looks like Team Clarity want to bring this over towards B. No response early on from Conan. Just dodges and weaves through the pillar, but it will eventually come out on top. The frags are not there from Clarity at the moment, but they're going to need to make one hell of a response if they want to come out on top of this round, and exactly what seems to be on the table. Now it's an even man scenario here. 45 seconds left in play. It's not the end of the world for either team, I should say, at the moment. Cyberstorm have already made a severe amount of economical damage. They can go even further. Unfortunately, the trade doesn't even come through. Yahoo isn't quite able to connect the shots. Alexander, he's bleeding internally, but doesn't go down. He's fighting to stay alive in this one. Caber will get the bomb down and get into a secure position. Now it's up to Mazzy. A much more difficult scenario than what it seemed like early on in this round. It's a tough ask considering there's no kit in play. But Mazzy might have a decent shot if he can isolate one of these kills. Alexander, again, keep in mind, he's basically on life support at the moment. He's not exactly looking healthy. Maziwu can't find the bomb though, and that makes it about as good as over, or is it? He taps the bomb, makes a lot of noise, and it's just easy pickings, really. No problem from there on out. Maybe if he had a kit to work with, that could have been It's a P250. See you later. Okay, thank you. I was trying to stay on the people who had a P250, but I couldn't really tell, Boo. You're the skin expert here, not me. Spammer, speaking of which, buys another AWP and also another P250 to work with, so that heavy sidearm seems to be doing him well. At least early on. But the op retrieve from Cyberstorm is going to end up biting them in the back. That being said, though, it wasn't a terrible round by any stretch of the imagination. Cyberstorm still did manage to get 4 players down. Nearly stole that one away from Team Clarity, but it was just a really good response. Missed grenade from Heedy, unfortunately. Things come to a standstill at the moment here. 3 players dedicated over towards B. This is something we've been seeing a little bit more and more often from Cyberstorm, and it hasn't really worked in their favor, and it's because of things exactly like this. Bomb is being quickly rotated over towards A, and it seems that Team Clarity have found their favorite site to try to prod and dedicate players over towards. Yahoo hears a decent amount of noise as he plays anti-flash over towards long. Mozzie in a much more safe position. Unfortunately, will have nothing exactly work out for them. Dolphy might oblige one player here, but surely Dolphy will check all of his corners. They aren't expecting this prod from bathrooms, and it might lead to his demise. There we are. Trade and response comes through. Mazzy gets the first one, and this is looking better and better as time goes on from Cyberstorm, because there's not much time to play with on Team Clarity's side. Wherever they go, it's most likely going to be their final destination. It's seeming an awful lot like B at the moment. Kaber just looking to flash in for his teammates, make this as lethal of a site take as they possibly can, but it's not looking good. Conan, Anti both find kills, and they're just dominating them one after another. It's a triple kill from Anti in a second round on the board for Cyberstorm, and that's exactly the kind of rounds that you need to see if you want to see Cyberstorm get back into this one. They've had a very, lukewarm CT half so far, but, I mean, that's one hell of a response that you need. Another pause comes through. I would imagine tactical. Cyberstorm, it seems like them trying to really slow down that pace didn't end up working in their favor. They seemed to initially want to bring it over towards B, then had second thoughts, wanted to bring it over towards A, but then just went right back to B. And from there on, they were working against the clock, and it was just kind of a firing range for Cyberstorm at that point. Another tactical pause comes through. We had the moment to talk about what was going wrong and what was going right for Cyberstorm. It seems like their B site has been locked down for the most part, but Team Clarity surely at this point have to realize that the A site is the weakest for Cyberstorm. Also keep in mind, Dolphy got really caught off guard by that strange long setup that Cyberstorm had going. Maybe something that doesn't work twice, and well, unfortunately, that doesn't work once from Conan. Just goes down immediately, peeking into Monster. Luckily, the refrag is through from Anti, and so as well from Rin. Surely Dolphy is going to be able to even up the scenario, though. The gunfights are a little bit finicky, and it ends up leading to a decent amount of blood loss on both sides here. Bomb is going to be faked. Not exactly going to commit to the plant, and as soon as he does, he sustains a healthy amount of HE damage. This retake is looking better and better, and just like that, it's a quick round, done, dusted, and put on the board for Cyberstorm. Or a third on the board for Cyberstorm, I should say. And okay, I don't know why he threw that Molotov, but he'll take a team Molotov instead, I suppose. Either way, not the end of the world. It's another round, and that's what matters most in the end. Team Clarity, although they've gotten the bomb down plenty of times in the past, their mining reserves are starting to run a little bit thin. If they get the bomb down, they will avoid, that certain demise. But if they, lose this round in a devastating fashion, like Cyberstorm have done in the past couple of rounds, maybe we could see something a little more light come out from Team Clarity. You see that the T's are opting for a little more connector control this time around. Something we saw from them early on, working to good success. Conan boosted up. This is a pretty common position that you see. If it's not jump spotted, this is about second best, but thing is, it has a really strong counterplay if possible, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. Conan eats a heavy amount of damage, and the spam through the wall forces them out of position. Team Clarity will just storm over the B site at the moment. Rin gets one, and the CTs just dominate. What was that from Rin? I had my camera on the wrong person, because it was Rin just getting 4 immediately, just walk into a firing range, and he's able to pick up a quad for the round. I feel terrible for watching the wrong person at that time, but I just didn't expect him to go off that much. I expected him to get traded out, and Team Clarity would have had the site, but apparently it's all the wrong reads on all the wrong situations, and it's round number 4 on the board for Cyberstorm. It's looking healthier and healthier, and maybe have had a good read on what Team Clarity have brought to the table. But are they ready for the full eco? They're ready for one, but not the second. Heedy will trade his teammate out, but they sustain heavy damage. Mazzy is up on 3 HP. Not much healthier for Alexander either, I should say. He's down to 13 HP, bleeding internally with a CZ to work with. He's upgraded to an AUG. Wants to try to cause a little bit of damage. Mazzy might be on borrowed time here, but I think he has the element of surprise. Oh my god, a shot is missed though. Mazzy is now dancing with danger at the moment. Luckily the refrag comes through. Play safe and let Anti do all the work, because that was a shot he should not have missed. Luckily the punish isn't through and certain danger is avoided. And another pause comes through. We've been seeing a lot of pauses early on in this game. Hopefully Team Clarity are really starting to think about what's going wrong, because this is now 4 rounds in a row that they've lost. Sure, you're counting the eco in that one, but that wasn't exactly a very promising eco round either. You saw a couple of trades come through. That's really about it. Their next challenge arises in round number 12. Both teams will be able to bring guns to the table. Cyberstorm, they're starting to really put together a nice wallet. Rin is the lowest on his team at 350, sure, but he's able to get a full buy-in with all the works as well. Mazzy, not only did he dedicate an AWP, but he still has enough to buy for rounds to come. Team Clarity are going to go back to their bread and butter, getting that connector control. But Cyberstorm's, yes, they're bringing the pressure to them as well. You see that they've actually dedicated 3 players of their own over towards connector. Smoke comes through, and is this going to be a boost on top? I love it. Rin just peeking into water for any sort of interesting setups. Nothing will be obliged from Team Clarity. This has the potential to be one bloody gunfight. Painting the blue red. Rin looks away at just the wrong time, but fortunately will be there for the second point of contact. There's the first frag through. Mazzy Wu burning alive, although Yahoo manages to keep his teammate alive for the time being. Now Mazzy Wu is in a very interesting, albeit dangerous spot. He gets one on the bomb carrier though, and that's the most important frag, the most vital frag he could have gotten in this moment, and he can do even better. He's now spraying through the smoke with dual Berettas. Can't quite connect the shots, and bomb will get retrieved, but it's a trade either way. And now things are heating up for Heedy. We'll toss a flash in, make it double as he enters the A site. Can definitely get a bomb plant down. That's not the issue. It's what comes after that's a real pressing question. Heedy is just being awfully articulate when it comes to clearing out the site. Wants to make sure there's no stone left unturned. He still has not committed to it, and this allows for rotations to come in nearly on his feet. Bomb will get planted at the end of things, but this becomes a near impossible task. He spots one over towards bathroom, so maybe, just maybe, he can isolate his fights, but it's going to be a tough ask no matter how you try to split it. So much utility for Cyberstorm to work with here, and it's just going to overwhelm Heedy. He's not going to be able to win that first gunfight. It's another round on the board for Cyberstorm, and just like that, we have an even game on our hands. I wasn't expecting to say that, but they managed to really make things work out for them in the end. Incredible survivability from Mazzy Wu as well. I thought he was on borrowed time, but being able to get the bomb plant or the bomb carrier down just worked out so heavily in Cyberstorm's favor. Speaking of which, the man in question is currently topping the scoreboard at 13-7. He's been having a hot start and looks to keep it going. Early utility usage from the T side here with a nice dunking grenade. Does a healthy amount of damage, putting Alexander down to half. And that makes him a little bit of a liability for his team, because that puts him within one-shot range of those M4s that are currently in play from the CTs. Cyberstorm CS already off to a pretty great start. Of course, it's been no kill zone. That's a real game changer. But they're halfway there. Utility isn't exactly strongest from Team Clarity. There's still well over a minute, and the CTs, they have smokes and Molotovs to spare. They can burn so much time off this clock that this becomes a monumentally tougher and tougher task from Team Clarity. Rotates come on through, but Caber is the man to keep an eye on at the moment. He's carrying it through blue at the moment to join his teammates over towards mid. The next task remains on Yahoo and Mazzy's hands, or in Mazzy and Yahoo's hands, I should say, excuse me. Classic jump spots. Mazzy spots no one, but, well, slow peek bathrooms instead. This actually just might work out. Dolphy is in an interesting position, though. You see that he's managed to play contact this entire time, but he hasn't spotted the gun barrel. He's able to get one, but surely isn't going to be able to get the second. He's letting them all pass. Yahoo lets one, not quite the second, though. Unfortunately, the second one isn't there, but he's given his team a little bit of a lifeline. Despite Clarity storming into the site, getting bombed down, there's still hope yet for Cyberstorm CS, but it just might whittle away in a moment's notice. Spammer takes down Anti on the retake here, but luckily the refrag comes through. Conan comes out on top of the duel versus Spammer. It's a 2 versus 2. Not much utility to speak of on either side here. Alexander with the only piece remaining, and it's just going to work out perfectly. Heedy fires up his team to a 7th round on the board. They just line up. And that will be the round going heavily in favor of Team Clarity. It was close into the very bitter end, but the T's managed to run away with that one. You can't get much closer than this. Cyberstorm CS are going to force together every last dollar that they can into this one here. It's not going to be the healthiest buy to speak of. Yahoo is kind of hurting for utility, plus he's on a FAMAS. You have Anti with a UMP, but they did manage to get that AWP together, and that's thanks to all the money that they built up from that crazy win bonus that they're having, just winning multiple rounds in a row, sometimes in dominant favor, like this one. Heedy, the man who was just a absolute nuisance to Cyberstorm in the last round, has already put out of the equation. That gives them a little more room to work with, Cyberstorm. No water control to speak of on either side here. Cyberstorm don't even want to bother with it. We'll just smoke it off, leave it for a rainy day. And all of Team Clarity are going back to their tried-true and tested position over at the A-bomb site. Spammer looking to entry in now that Heedy is not in this world anymore. Flash and Molotov, all the works, but he needs to make some big damage done with his Galil. Sure, his main challenge won't come through this time around. Sure, Mazzy misses an uncharacteristic shot, and I thought he could have really thrown a wrench into their plans, but maybe he won't have to do any work on, at all. Yahoo coming in from behind, pincers one. It's still 3 versus 4, still favoring Cyberstorm, especially since they have 3 kits in play, but there's no utility to speak of on either team, and I feel like utility is what it's really come down to, because when you have flashbangs and all the players are blinded, it becomes a significantly harder task to guard the bomb, but unfortunately it's not meant to be for Caber. It looks like the shot was just a little bit off on the diffuser, and it's going to be another round on the board for Team Clarity as they make their way to a 7-7 scoreline. You can't get much closer than this, as I mentioned. And either team is just scrambling to try to come out on top. It's been a slow game for some of these players, most notably Alexander. He was one of my players to watch on top of Delphi, sitting at 8 and 10 at the moment. It's also important to notice that if you look at Cyberstorm right now, look how even their kills are for the most part. You see that, I mean, Yahoo's lagging behind a little bit, but he's been having so many important, impactful rounds, and I mean, the numbers are so close. They ride together or they die together, it seems. And it looks like they've been riding this one up to 7 rounds, looking to make it 8. Final one of this half, Clarity piece together everything they can. Again, not the prettiest buy in the world, but they can make lemonade out of these lemons, excuse me. Or they can make me actually start talking for once, but it doesn't matter whatever I say, because they're going to win all the duels they need. Cyberstorm CS just run away with this one as they get 4 frags to their team's name, looking to make it 5. Mazzy just might have The right push on Dolphy, and indeed it is. Just walks into the crosshairs, and it's not exactly that crazy of a round for Cyberstorm, but it ends up getting the job done. And considering they're down, I believe it was, what, 6-1 at one point, maybe 5-1? Cyberstorm really start to piece together a nice, healthy CT half and come out with a lead. I'll take a quick look at the stats because, as I mentioned before, it was looking relatively even for all the members on Cyberstorm. And I feel like when you just glance at the scoreboard, Spammer has been the player to watch so far on the side of Clarity. 15-13 at the moment is his KD, and he's sitting at 112 ADR. Pretty standout performance. That's the highest in the server by a good margin. Second highest up is, I just looked away from it at the wrong moment, is Rin, who has 97. So, I mean, it's a good amount of damage done in return, but isn't quite enough to win them the half. Not that it's all lost yet. It's far from it. They're going to be able to switch sides and give themselves a shot on the defense this time around. Team Clarity looking to get themselves a lifeline back into this game on Overpass. No matter result, win or loss, it's not the end of the road for either team here. And interesting of note is that Team Clarity are actually dedicating 3 players over towards long and Heedy over towards mid, who, speaking of which, is going to be able to find a frag onto the player who's been a menace. Man with 97 ADR will add a big fat goose egg to that total. And things are already getting off to a great start for Team Clarity. You notice that bomb is thoroughly in the hands of Conan at the moment, as water control is slowly but surely seized from Cyberstorm. They look to make an impact. Boost up on top. Oh, I like this. Is Anti going to be able to find anything over towards barrels? I don't believe so, but even then, this is a good amount of information in of itself. You see Spammer and Heedy are playing very, very passive, playing for retake. Heedy over towards Graffiti. Heedy Graffiti. I like that. Either way, doesn't matter. No more wordplay. Now it's time to see some gunplay. Heedy will have a chance to get first contact on some of these T's, but it's going to be Spammer taking the duels and losing every single one of them. He tries. Anti, unfortunately, isn't able to, or excuse me, is going to be able to take him down, putting him out of the picture. Retake will begin from the CTs, but they're going to have to retrieve that kit if they want to have a real good shot at this one here. It becomes significantly harder since they aren't winning any of the duels that they need. It becomes a very, very tough task for Caber to finish one off here, and Anti is going to be able to find another, and I think we have a done deal just like that. The Glocks proved to be superior in this round, in this game, in this monumental second half so far. Cyberstorm improved to 9. They're looking better and better with time. Team Clarity left scrambling after that one. It got off to such a good start to them as well. I feel like that's the most important thing to mention. You notice that he made it a very, very quick 4 versus 5. Sure, that gave Cyberstorm plenty of time to adapt and do what they will with the round, but I don't even feel like it was anything crazy. It was just a slow B execute. That boost that they had over at B didn't net them any useful information other than there wasn't a player over towards barrels, so they didn't have to pre-aim it. But I mean, it was just winning the gunfight straight up, it felt like at some points. Flash through. Rin eats a healthy amount of damage, but so does his teammate, but he will respond in kind just perfectly. A 1-for-2 trade ends up looking just perfect for Cyberstorm here. And Anti can do even better. Nice return frag from Spammer, though. We'll be able to retrieve an AK, so that gives him a little bit of a fighting chance in this round. Surely he's got to expect some sort of trade coming through. Rin won't try to play with fire, though. Lest things get heaty in here. In fact, they'll just try to rotate over towards mid, take things slow for the time being. There's absolutely no reason to try to force the clock at the moment when it only favors your team. 50 seconds left in play. Spammer coming up from behind. If this is a duel that Spammer wins, we could see this still going either way at the moment. Spammer is in the perfect location to take down Rin. I don't think Rin is ready for this one. Spammer just barely avoids the line of fire, and Spammer gotta hear footsteps at this point. This is why you play with sound up, because it's gonna lead you to a frag up in the scenario. 2 versus 2. There's still life yet for Team Clarity. bomb will get planted, and that makes things so much more palatable for Cyberstorm here as we enter the retake, but this is still very much doable, especially with Spammer having a kit in play. Maybe they do have a decent shot at this one. A smoke and Spammer, if that went over towards Bank, that would give them so much room to work with. But it seems like they're erring towards trying to go for a smoke defuse at the moment, because you see Spammer had second thoughts about going for it. There you are. Smoke comes through. Spammer, if he just stuck this bomb at this point, that just might be it for the round here. Spam comes through, but it's not on mark here. He's staying alive at the moment, and it's unbelievable. It's going to net Team Clarity another round on the board. The anti-eco works out perfectly, and that's what happens when you play with smoke. It will lead to a fiery round on the board. Not too shabby whatsoever. Team Clarity, not only did they win the duels that they needed, but they, I mean, really just outlasted Cyberstorm with all that utility in play as well. Spammer has been good on so many fronts for his team, and this is no exception. This is why I can't ever underestimate the power of utility, because it's also going to go and do some heavy offensive damage as well. Alexander finds one on Namazi, snuffs out this push before he even has a good chance to begin, and two CTs waiting behind the smoke at the moment will still have a chance to get even more frags to their name here. It's a bit bloody, sure, but it gives them a good, decent shot at winning this round. Not before Alexander is caught off guard. And, well, I mean, it goes to the very bitter end at the end of things, but Team Clarity are able to even things up 9-9. That was a bit of a tough round to follow, but, I mean, it just kind of felt like the main duels that Alexander took were just because he just caught T's who were pushing through smoke off guard. The only reason he died there is because his UMP didn't have infinite ammo. If it had a little more ammo, he most likely could have gotten that frag. I mean, the T that ended up putting him out of the equation was one that was running and jumping. Not exactly the hardest frag to get. Another pause comes through. Cyberstorm, interesting to note that they seem to be wanting to buy everything they possibly can into this one here. It's 2 AKs and upgraded pistols. Pretty lethal duo. But you can tell that Team Clarity definitely have high hopes that they can make some magic out of this round. I can't exactly echo the same sentiment that they have, but maybe it's time for me to believe. Anti and Conan will be the men with the rifles. Early Molotov comes through. This is standard from Team Clarity. Now they're going to go ahead and try to capitalize, get some aggressive mid-control, and it works out just perfectly. Spammer can get so much information, especially if you were to jump over the smoke. This kind of works as a one-way at the moment. Then quick frag comes through. Caber makes it another 4 versus 5, but this is, again, this is far from the end of the road from Cyberstorm. We saw them get away with a 4 versus 5 win on the pistol. This becomes a significantly harder task just because they don't match the artillery that Team Clarity have brought to the table, but it all starts with frags like these. Team Clarity, they've angered the beast of Cyberstorm. Now it's time for them to return the favor. They aren't winning the early duels so far, and Spammer is going to be able to, unfortunately, not capitalize, but that's exactly what I'm talking about. They're never out of the woods, Cyberstorm. They can always find that light at the end of a tunnel. Yahoo picks up 2 to his name, looks for even more as his team starts slowly pushing up over towards A. Caber might be in a spot to really foil this plan, though, from the T side. If Yahoo were to make any noise whatsoever or dare even peek his face, it might lead to a death of some sort. Unfortunately, it's on the form of the defense here. Yahoo on 3. Looks to extend it even further. His team will enter into the site. Alexander left alone, left to his own devices. But this is going to be such a tough ask, and he realized it as well. He's just going to try to play retake at the moment. Yahoo, he's up for almost an ace at the moment. He got 4 for the round, but now it's going to be Alexander's time to shine. He gets 2. Can he make it a 3? On to Conan. Unfortunately, the smoke dissipates at just the wrong time, and off the back of Yahoo's carry performance, Cyberstorm are going to be able to steal away the round, but it's no easy feat for them. They get up on double digits, but I mean, if Yahoo didn't have such a massive round, this could have been Team Clarity in the lead. Bomb retrieved. Team Clarity will now force up everything they possibly can. They've been punished for losing a round that they very much should not have. Keep in mind, Cyberstorm only had 2 rifles with 3 deagles. That was a round that, I mean, on paper, they definitely should not have lost. Definitely a bitter feeling. Where does that smoke land? I don't think I've ever seen that smoke before. Does it do anything? No, not really. That's kind of a useless smoke. Well, Maziwu and Anti are both going to find kills, and now we get right back into the action. Looking at the kill feed, it's tinted yellow at the moment. Team Clarity almost have no in back into this round. It's going to have to require a god tier play, but it won't happen. Rin with another one on the board for his team. And everyone's getting involved in the action. Conan and Yahoo have been the only ones not to find a frag this round so far. But there's still a chance yet. Heedy on the A-bomb site and Alexander on the B-bomb site. Look to find frags, but I don't think they'll come out on top of any of these duels. They're not favored for a single one, and that's exactly what happens when you look away at the wrong time. Alexander gets domed, jump scared immediately. And it's Heedy versus 5. It's a done deal, but if it can cause a little bit of economic damage, maybe it can be a little bit of a better picture. Looks to retrieve a gun from his teammates. An MP9, I believe, was dropped somewhere over towards mid, but no chance. Cyberstorm up on 11. They're looking really good in recent form here. And it's time for a pause from Team Clarity. This is definitely the time to do it because this is going to be one of the most important rounds of the game, I should mention. Actually, never mind. I thought Team Clarity were going to be able to buy up. Okay, never mind. This isn't one of the most important rounds of the game. This should be just kind of a throwaway round for Team Clarity. They don't exactly have a really big chance of winning this one. But their next gun round, that is where a winner might be decided. Team Clarity, again, they have almost no tools to make this work at all. I would imagine they're going to be going for a B stack. We see that pretty often on the CT side on full ecos like this, and I feel like Team Clarity of all teams, they've used it before. Why not try to use it again? And exactly as I mentioned, there comes the full 5 B stack. Early Molotov comes through, so surely the T's are going to try taking aggressive water control. But Team Clarity will not budge for the time being. They're just going to have a nice little friendly meeting in the pit over at B. No reason to move. No reason to budge. Notice that despite knowing that the economy of the CTs is most likely going to be very, very weak, they're just biding their time. They're playing this as standard, as a default as you can get. They're using tons of utility just to snuff out all these common areas because they really have no read on where Team Clarity could be at the moment. At any moment, they could be all, 5 stuck in a connector or something like that. But surely they're going to learn very, very soon that they're all grouped up together at B. This isn't exactly the most uncommon strat. I mean, this should be something Cyberstorm are aware of. I honestly have been kind of surprised at how thorough Cyberstorm have been on their execute so far. They've been pretty good at not being caught off guard by strange plays. But it will get even stranger soon here as you see Team Clarity are kind of going as a conga line over towards A at the moment. Getting ready to greet the T's who are at their front doorstep. But this will have to be an absolute massive slugfest if they want to have a chance of even getting any economic damage done. They're just going to come billowing through the smoke, and I mean, it's just going to be frag after frag for Cyberstorm. Essentially gifted the round to them at the very end of things. Team Clarity, unfortunately, no shot left in this game, or in that round, I should say. Excuse me, I'm having so many missteps in my casting at the moment. Cyberstorm will go up on 12, and they're looking healthy economically. You can't echo the same sentiments for Team Clarity, though. This is a do-or-die round for them. If they drop this one, Cyberstorm just might run away with it. And it's already looking pretty awfully good for them. Rin is able to find one immediately right off the bat, and the deal is going to become even sweeter. I just need to keep the eye on Rin, apparently. That 4K before and a 2K entry this time around. He is just lighting up the server and lighting up the kill feed as well. Really making this such a winnable game for Cyberstorm at the moment. Yahoo is able to chime in with a kill of his own as well. Finally, a response comes for Team Clarity, but it's not exactly the loudest statement being made. Petey peeks in, loses his life, and I think this is kind of a done deal. Cyberstorm, they might have just booked their ticket for at least around 15, if not even further beyond. Caber is most likely going to try to save his gun, maybe do a little bit of economic damage if he can so possibly help it, but really public enemy number one is going to be Caber at the moment. Cyberstorm, they can afford to go for some of these chases as well. If they can get the gun out of the hands of Team Clarity, that would be such a massive blow to not only their economy, but their ego as well. I mean, Caber has a lot of very important tools to keep into the 13th round, has a kit, full armor, good amount of utility, and an M4. I mean, losing that would just be so massive. The bomb goes up in flames yet again, and it looks like he has avoided certain death this time around. He'll be able to keep this M4 in play. Caber. He'll be the only person who's looking healthy on his team. The rest of them are poverty-stricken and will be forced to go for upgraded pistols, not much else. In fact, nothing else. No utility, no armor. There we are. There's a flash coming through, so Dolphy might just be wanting to flash his teammate in over towards water or monster, I would imagine. Are they going for the triple boost? I like this. I want to keep an eye on this. I feel like this has potential to be lethal. It doesn't seem like anyone on Cyberstorm are looking for it, so it could net them a free frag, and indeed it does. That's one, and the second one. Now they have a lifeline back into this round. A massive play and a massive heads-up reaction from Caber is going to net them 2 frags and give them that man advantage. However, as I mentioned so many times before, they're not out of the woods just yet. Yahoo could still spoil this party. Team Clarity will retrieve another gun in the hands of Heedy at the moment. No response so far from Cyberstorm. It's a 3 versus 4. This could easily swing either way at the moment. 3 on 3 guns with Spammer lurking in the backline trying to find one of his own. And now Cyberstorm most definitely just need to slow things down at the moment. I don't think Spammer has spotted bomb just yet, but if he did, that would be even more salt in the wound for Cyberstorm. He must hear the footsteps by now, so this should be a free frag for Spammer. Indeed it is. That's what happens when you don't check your corners. It's going to lead to your inevitable demise. Now Spammer has an AWP. That's his favorite toy to play with, and he's going to be able to find all the frags that he needs. Team Clarity, they might have just gotten away with theft here. Yahoo is going to be stuck versus 4, but he doesn't have a shot in hell at making this one work. At this point, he's just going to go ahead and try to cause as much chaos as he can on his way down. Die before time as soon as you can. Don't die. Don't die after time here. Oh no, it just becomes a nightmare. Luckily, he manages to avoid the Scourge and doesn't go down after time, so Cyberstorm will have a full buy into this one here. And I thought Team Clarity were done, but just massive heads-up play from the CTs to boost Caber on top of the shoulders of 2 teammates ends up getting them the exact remedy that the doctor ordered. Now we're back to default here. We're going to see Spammer trying to prod over towards mid. Early HE through. Doesn't find any damage. Cyberstorm will go back to their favorite. What kind of angle is this? I've seen this a couple times before. I just don't see how it's useful. I mean, I see how it's useful. Don't get me wrong. It's just like, I wouldn't be able to spot anything from that. I swear, some of these CS players have some of the craziest eyes. They are eating their carrots. Dolphy boosted on top. I like this, though. Look at these adjustments that Team Clarity are doing. A lot of the times when they're peeking into water, they're waiting for some of the utility usage from their teammates, making it so it's a lot less riskier of a play, because it got punished before. But they learned from their mistakes, and that puts them at a even scenario, as a minute is left on the clock. Still plenty of time for both teams here, I should mention. Far from a done deal. Hey, Charlie, what's up, dude? How you doing? 5-on-5, still no contact made for either team at the moment. Anti has gotten down to 92, but, I mean, that's peanuts. It's not going to really do anything for you. Not even within one shot of those M4s. And, well, there's the first point of contact. Exactly what you want to see. Mazzy takes down Spammer, who's been one of the very big notable names for his team at the moment, is put out of the picture. And this becomes a considerably harder task for Caber as he tries to desperately put this back in his team's advantage. And he'll do just perfectly fine, too, before he eventually falls. Now it's up to Dolphy to try to stay alive for as long as he possibly can, but it's not meant to be. Cyberstorm swarm the site and try to get the bomb down, and they actually managed to get it. How the hell did Heedy not find those kills? I mean, sure, it's a round in your favor, but that's going to give them even more money to play with. An even more lethal chance for Cyberstorm to strike right back. Spaghetti falls down out of the pockets of Heedy, but eventually it is kills and another round on the board. Team Clarity keep it competitive. This one's going the absolute brink. I'm kind of glad I didn't I didn't choose to cast another match for tonight, because I would be late for the second. Pause comes through. I swear to God, we've seen more tactical pauses than kills in this game. All teams are really trying to think about this one here, because this is kind of a tricky round. I'm not going to say it's the most important decider round, but for Team Clarity, I'm sure as hell is. Cyberstorm, they're starting to run out of money reserves at the moment here. Maybe they can piece together one more buy, but they're going to be having 2,400 incoming if they lose this one. So Yahoo will most definitely be able to force that, but we're most likely going to be seeing something like, you know, double AKs and upgrade pistols like we saw before. That being said, that's nothing. I mean, Cyberstorm were causing a ton of damage before when they were working with that. I'm not even going to count it as something that they would be disadvantaged in. Still plenty of shots back into this one, but Team Clarity are most definitely looking to even up the scoreline. They're on the brink of it. If they can destroy the economy of Cyberstorm here, you could be seeing an even game on our hands, or possibly even Team Clarity coming out on top. Can't count your chickens before they hatch, but Team Clarity certainly have the momentum going for them at the moment. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Spammer gets the first blood towards Cyberstorm at the moment, taking out Rin. He's slowed down in recent times, but he's still been having a great game, 22 and 19. No response possible from Mazzy as he tries to punish Jump Peak coming through, but that only gives away his position. Cyberstorm are kind of left scrambling at the moment. They could take this wherever they want here. Look at this, so water control is seized. I love this from Team Clarity. This is going to be so damn good for them, because that's just going to siphon one, possibly more frags right into their favor. But don't get caught with your flash out, Heedy. He struggles on the gunfight, and oh my lord, a lifeline has been found for Cyberstorm. Now Team Clarity are left scrambling a little bit. This should be a round that should not have even gotten this far. This could have easily been a 5 versus 2. Made into a 3 versus 3 just because of a couple of whiffs here and there, and now this next duel could decide all. Oh god, it's not looking very promising. The trades come through. Don't tell me Cyberstorm are going to be able to come out on top of this one here. It was looking so damn good for Clarity. It's going to be Spammer stuck on this retake here. He's kind of playing with fire though, and when there's smokes, there's soon to be fires as well. He drops out from heaven. No utility to his name other than a single defuse kit, and he gets body shot on top of it. Oh, it's just dire straits for him. As he looks to try to pull off the Alamo here, he can't even find the first shot. Anti has been a hero in this round, but maybe Spammer can be even more of a hero. He's only able to find one. Anti trades his teammate out to make it 4 for the round, and my lord, what a performance from him. And yeah, that is definitely one you want to call a tactical pause for. Team Clarity had absolutely no business losing that round. You have to hit shots like that over towards water. It was such a smart heads-up play by Team Clarity as well. It wasn't like it was just a bad read on the scenario to try to go for aggressive water control, but it just seemed like, you know, they're caught out with their guns out, and the punishes came through perfectly from Cyberstorm. They were able to storm the site, get all the trades they needed, and I mean, it nets them round number 14. It hurts to be on the receiving end of, but it must feel so damn good to be on the dealing end of. Cyberstorm go up on 14 after what looked like it was going to be a 5 versus 2. Unbelievable. Judging by how long this pause is taking, that is a tactical or a technical pause, so maybe Heaty's mouse broke or something like that. Who knows? Taking a quick glance at the scoreboard right now, you see that Spammer has had 143 AD or utility damage in the second half so far. Not too shabby indeed. Definitely hasn't been the most utility-centric game so far, at least for HE damage. But plenty of flashes coming through. Look at this. Yahoo had 16 enemies flashes, or excuse me, 16 enemies flashed. That's a good margin above anybody else this entire half as well. He's been doing great for his team. Not only is he topping the scoreboard, but he's topping the utility damage. Definitely my MVP front runner at the moment. There's still more Counter-Strike to be played, and it looks like Cyberstorm is just trying to play Counter-Strat to what Team Clarity are bringing to the table. You notice that they dedicate 3 players over towards B. This is not their usual default. It's a bit interesting to see. What am I looking for? Where's my bind for B? Is it this? Yeah. Oh, I don't have a bind for that. Anyway, 3 players dedicated over towards B. Just push right in. It's going to be a double stack setup. I love this, though. Team Clarity, they seem to have all the right plays for all these setups that Cyberstorm are bringing to the table. It nets Alexander 3 kills, but, I mean, I feel like Team Clarity, for the most part, have such a good lockdown on everything that Cyberstorm bring to the table over towards B, but they struggle on some of these shots and some of these plays. It ends up losing them round sometimes, but this doesn't seem to be one of those cases. Team Clarity, surely you're not going to be able to throw this one away. Mazzy is stuck in a 1-on-3. He has a bomb in hand to play with, as well as full armor, but no nades, no nothing. Because of that, this might be a done deal. Hey, what's up, MLG Dark? How you doing? Hey, what's up, BDD? I'm just trying to cover the last of this action, possibly. Team Clarity, they're looking good to get number 12 on the board here. Mazzy was just going to try to dictate the pace of his own, bring it in towards B early, but little does he know he has a jump scare awaiting him. Oh, my lord. This is looking a little bit scary, but luckily, certain danger is avoided. Spammer gets the follow-up that's needed, upgrades to Krieg, and they stay alive, Team Clarity. It's not the prettiest round wins, but it's a round win nonetheless, off the back of an incredible triple kill from Alexander. Gets him up to 12. Online practice with the guys? Hey! I didn't know you guys had practice today. I'm happy that things went well for the League of Legends squad, I'm assuming. Anyway, Cyberstorm. Their money reserves have run out once again, and they're going to be stuck on an eco. Full Glocks. Days, he's basically frothing and sweating at seeing all these Glocks in play, but I don't think it'll lead to a loss, just like what happened with Days, as they do manage to win that first duel. How the hell did Spammer lose that one? That is disgusting and not very good, not a very promising sentiment at all. Dolphy will be desperately trying to return over to the A site, but it gets dinked in the midst of things. Good nade comes through, and it's a dunk. It's a Kobe. Rest in peace, my man. On to Yahoo. Good refrag from Caber as well, and I think they've avoided certain danger for now. It's a near impossible task. The Glock and the Deagles don't work out, but it secures them a bomb plant, so I mean, not too bad at the end of the day. This means that they won't have to go for a double eco Cyberstorm, and if they really felt risky, they could force up right here. It would lead to not exactly the strongest utility. They would have to suffer a little bit when it comes to grenades, but it's their best shot. Cyberstorm, I think this is possibly the most important round. I've said it a bunch of times so far, but this most definitely is. Cyberstorm could either get up on 15 or Team Clarity could have a chance to completely shatter the economy of Cyberstorm. It's anyone's game at this point here. And it's already getting off to a hot start for Team Clarity. Nade comes through, tagging Mazzy down to 54. And again, since 4 M4s are in play from Team Clarity, that makes Mazzy, a little bit of a liability, since he's going to be able to get dinked and taken down immediately from those M4s. You basically have an AK in play at that point. Speaking of AKs, you have a Krieg coming through, which is even better than an AK. It scopes and it one-shots. You can't get much sweeter than that. And Alexander has been an absolute menace on the scope so far. He's looking to continue it. Give his team that elusive 14th round. It would mean everything for them because, again, this would shatter the economy of Cyberstorm and they would be stuck, possibly staring down the barrel of at least tie point, if not match point. Looks like an execute is on the books at the moment here. Team Clarity have to be ready for this one here. They have a player playing aggressively over towards long in Caber, but it doesn't work out. Spammer is going to need to go massive over towards long. He finds one, finds the second one as well, and I think Team Clarity just have done it. They need a few more duels to officially close out the deal here, but it's looking really promising for them at the moment. They win the first and they win the second. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Alexander is an absolute menace on those scopes. They shatter the economy of Cyberstorm, and Team Clarity just might have done it. A pause will come through, and Cyberstorm, they're not going to be able to buy up no matter how much they, hope and wish and pray. They aren't even going to be able to force up Galil's, nothing of the sort. It's going to be upgrade pistols across the board, if anything, but I think their best bet is just try to play for overtime. It's such a tough ask to expect them to do miraculous things with the Deagle. We saw a couple of things before, don't get me wrong. Again, look back to when Cyberstorm put together that 2 AK and 3 Deagle buy. They managed to come out on top of that one in a pretty dominant fashion. No doubt they can do it again, but they're going to have to work with even less, and they're just putting all their eggs in the basket here. Cyberstorm, they want to win it right here, right now. They want to make it in regulation. They've been pretty formidable. I don't exactly see it as a lost cause, but with Alexander in the picture, he could spoil this party before he even has a chance to begin. A wall of smokes goes down over towards B. Alexander is still very much in the picture, though, and he might go huge, or perhaps he might not at all. Dolphy is actually the one to step in massively for his team, picks up 2. The man to watch is making one hell of a name for himself. And it will be Rin stuck in a 1-on-2. This might have just backfired for Cyberstorm. They were looking so close to tasting victory, but it just might be defeat for them. Spammer. Oh, he's going to get caught off guard. Luckily, 16/9 is perfect for him. That's why you play at 16/9, and why 4/3 is just one hell of a resolution. 15-14, Team Clarity. They've climbed their way back into this game. It was looking so lost for them at some point. What was it, 9-13, I believe, at one point? They clawed their way back into this. So much respect to them. Final pause will be coming out as we enter possibly the final round of this game. Cyberstorm, obviously they have to force together everything they possibly can. It's looking a lot better than it was on round 28. Or on round 29, excuse me. But round 30, this is your last chance. But they're going to have to beat to their own drummer. Really dictate the pace of their own. That fast-paced style did not work against Clarity. The trades just didn't end up going in their favor whatsoever, and that quick rotate, in particular from Dolphy, was really what sealed the deal. He was my player to watch, and he's been having a relatively slow game, but you cannot deny the impact that he had this time around. Looks like Cyberstorm are just going to be setting up for a quick B take this time around. Anti will be leading the charge with a Galil. Smokes through, flashes through. Anti leading the charge, but he's going to get snuffed out almost immediately. Put it out of the picture. This becomes considerably harder for Cyberstorm, especially since they nearly siphoned another player. How did he come out on top of that barrels duel? He has such a tall task ahead of him. Spammer comes in from behind, and oh my lord, did we actually just see overtime possibly happen here? Bomb is going to get put down. Yahoo is watching for all the sneaky plays that they're going for, and they're winning all the duels. Cyberstorm just might have done it, and the last possible moment that they had to make this round work, they do it. Caber is going to be stuck. I feel like I've been saying stuck so many times. He's going to be left to his own devices in a 1-on-3, but as I've said so many times before, he's going to have to pull off a play worthy of device, and it's not meant to be. We're going to overtime, baby. 15-15. Cyberstorm somehow managed to piece that last round together. I was not fancying their chances over towards B whatsoever, but I'm convinced by now. A little break from the action before we head back into things. I want to take take a quick look at who's leading the scoreboard at the moment for both teams, because I feel like the top performers have kind of pulled through ahead of their team by now, and indeed they have. Spammer is 26 and 25, still has over 100 ADR, which is so damn impressive. He went through the entirety of regulation just popping off that entire time. 101 ADR. Cyberstorm still has Rin leading the scoreboard, at least when it comes to RWS. 91.6 for him. But I feel like low-key it's actually been Mazzy who's been putting on one hell of a performance. 27 and 20, excuse me. 97 ADR for him as well. But we are right back into the action. Overtime, the magic number to look for right now will be 19. So either team that gets a 19 first will be your champions here, at least for this match. And don't forget bomb, guys. They forgot bomb and spawn, guys. Bomb. It's right there. At the bottom. Okay, there we are. They're gonna go back for it. So Cyberstorm aren't gonna go ahead and try to bring the pace a little bit quicker this time around. It's been their bread and butter the past couple of rounds, working to varying degrees of success, but it's not meant to be. Heedy, where is this position? He's already made his way in towards water at the moment. This could be potentially lethal. I have not been sold on Heedy's performance so far this game. It feels like he's just a little bit shaky. Nerves have gotten to him, but I mean, hell, he's the one playing at advanced, not me. Maybe he can show up and he can blow up. He gets one. He's actually going to be able to get the second one as well. And, well, I mean, that's exactly what I want to see from Heedy. I get proven wrong, and it's looking awfully right for Clarity at the moment. Nade comes through with a counter. HE from, I believe it was K-Bird, excuse me. I might be wrong. No, it was Spammer, I believe. Either way. Rotates come through from Clarity. Here comes a contact push in from the T side here. Yahoo leads the charge yet again as he enters in without any hesitation whatsoever. Dolphy's put out. Spammer is going to be next up, possibly in the firing range here as he searches for a frag. Won't be given him just yet, but Yahoo surely will be able to catch him off guard here. The guerrilla warfare. And this 2 versus 3 becomes increasingly unlikely and a little bit of lag, but that's only for me. Still as quick of a death, as swift as a death for all the players on Team Clarity as they lose that first round in overtime here. But they still have chances yet. It's been a quiet game. I mean, really, they just didn't have a lot of noise being made in that last round whatsoever. Alexander didn't really have a chance to pop off and get into some of these advantageous positions that we saw him so far, despite that wonderful 2K that we saw from Heedy. Didn't exactly net them the win in the end, which must be heartbreaking, a bittersweet feeling if nothing else. But again, 3 players from Clarity are dedicated over towards B, and this might just be the right read on the scenario here, because Alexander, he's sitting in a cheeky off angle at the moment. One player over towards barrels will be Dolphy, but all of them will fall over towards B. The lightning storm of flash just comes out, and it's perfect. Cyberstorm are able to storm over the site and take the bomb down. 2 on 4, retake begins. There's almost no reason for Clarity not to go for it. They're going to have money for days. It's overtime. But I don't favor them one moment here, especially when they're losing duels like that. Caber falls, and so does Spammer. Cyberstorm are looking clean so far in this overtime. Maybe they just had to shake out the nerves during regulation. Excuse me. I think it's also important to notice that Caber has 10 assists and Rin has 11. I feel like Rin and Yahoo have both been MVPs. Like, it's so hard to choose one that's standing out. I feel like it's just both been doing very well for their team. Team Clarity kind of left stumbling as a result of it. Caber, speaking of which, the man I mentioned earlier will be over at mid. Goes for an aggressive play, nearly gets caught with his pants down, but luckily we'll be able to catch 1 kill for his name, and this is looking better and better as time goes on for Team Clarity. It's brought back a little bit by Anti finding that kill onto Caber, avenging his teammate, but still a 3 on 4 favoring Team Clarity. It's looking awfully good for them. Spammer will choose not to take any duels. because he knows he most definitely does not have to at the moment. His team has plenty of advantages to speak of, lots of utility to their name. Cyberstorm as well, don't get me wrong, they have plenty to their name as well. Anti is watching for a jump peek. It's still anyone's game, anyone's round at the moment. Obviously does favor Team Clarity at the moment. Aggressive B setup can allow Team Clarity to rotate a player back over towards A. Spammer might have a tough task on his hands as bomb is slowly making its way up through bathrooms. Spammer will be watching for this first point of contact. 25 seconds roughly left to go. As the execute begins, smokes, it all comes down. It's going to be a frenzy of grenades and hopefully a frenzy of kills for Spammer. Finds the first one, drops the bomb carrier, but he's not ready for the second one up. That means bomb will get retrieved from Cyberstorm here, but they aren't choosing to get it down just yet. Conan will go for a safer plant, but that smoke grenade actually hits Dolphy through CT, and that will make his presence known, and he will fall just as quickly. The Titan is toppled, but Alexander is still very much in this equation. Now Anti, he's going to be left to do it all by his lonesome, but he'll have no chance at it whatsoever. Bomb is defused, and finally Team Clarity get around on the board. It took them a little while to start making their presence known, but they at least try to keep it competitive. 17-16, and again, magic number to look for is going to be 19. So Cyberstorm inching ever closer and closer to that finish line, while Team Clarity need to make this a flawless half if they want to have a shot at this. Because if Cyberstorm get even at least one more round, they will at the very least secure double overtime, which in that case, we're looking at 21 or 22, sorry. I just hope it doesn't go that far because I'm kind of tired and I'm kind of hungry at the moment, but you can't ever dislike good Counter-Strike, and you can't deny that's what we've been seeing a lot of this time. Again, another quick break before we head right back into things. I just realized I don't have my water bottle with me. I have not been able to get a drink in the past 2 hours. No wonder I'm so thirsty. Small break in the action. Much needed as well. Players can reset, talk about things, what's been going right. I feel like Team Clarity, what's been going right most often for them is getting a lot of that aggressive control over towards B. It most definitely seems to be working out. I think back on the rounds where Heedy aggressively pushed up over towards water, towards that off angle, and took out anybody who's pushing up over towards water, and it net them at least 1 or 2 frags each time. And if that's able to be capitalized upon, I think Team Clarity could have had a really solid CT defense going, but unfortunately, it only nets them 1 round, and they will have to be the aggressors this time. Cyberstorm, maybe they're going to go ahead and try to imitate that setup. Maybe see that they can do it better. Who knows? Still plenty of Counter-Strike to be played for tonight. Second part of overtime coming through. Both teams airing for that 19, but it's going to have to be a flawless T-half from Team Clarity if they want to have a shot at making this happen. Molotov comes through. 3 players committed over towards B. I've noticed that both teams have really favored having 3 players over towards B in recent times, which makes sense. I mean, B is such a good site, so easy to rotate in and out of. But what makes it so interesting is that they're playing a lot, or they're playing pretty passive on top of it. Sure, you have Anti playing out over towards Pillar, but notice that Conan as well as Rin are playing kind of a little more of a rotator role. They have no player stuck in heaven, which is what you see often a lot on these setups. Long control will be seized. By the way, this is a best of 1, I should say. I don't want to pronounce your name because I would mess it up, but I'm just going to call you W. Weiker? Weiker? I don't know. That feels right. Either way. Default for Team Clarity comes through. They're being thorough again with their investigation through long. But they have not found any suspects so far. Mazzy Wu, again going for his typical jump spot. I want to see this get punished by one of these teams. Neither of them have quite been able to do it. But speaking of punishment, I love this. Yahoo might have a perfect chance to punish some of this early T aggression. That Molotov just might spoil it though. Oh my lord, that's so unfortunate. The team Molotov actually ends up leading to Yahoo having to back out of the situation early. Sure, it wasn't the Molotov at the end of the day, but Team Clarity tossed one of their own aggressive towards bathrooms, forcing him to back up onto site. Luckily, it doesn't matter because they'll all funnel into Mazzy Wu's crosshairs at the moment, and this is looking better and better as time goes on. Mazzy gets a triple, nearly gets 4, and actually he does get 4 at the end of things before he eventually falls, excuse me. And I mean, now, at the very least, Cyberstorm have secured double overtime, but if Mazzy keeps on pulling off performances like that, 33 frags to his name, he just might close it right here, right now. They're so damn close. They can practically taste it. I don't even feel like I gave Mazzy enough credit for how crazy that play was, but that was disgusting. Team Clarity are going to try something different, though. They're going to try their hand at the aggressive B take. Heedy can't quite make a frag work over the player on pillar. And Conan will back up, live to fight another day. And that day might come now. Boosting a teammate up. Rin wants to go for something cheeky here. No players are in water to greet him. But he'll go for a jump scare. Quick frag comes through, but a refrag through from Heedy just as quickly. It's a 4-on-4. This does favor the T side, just, I mean, historically and on a statistical basis, but Cyberstorm have been so good in these even man scenarios that it's so hard to really count Team Clarity as the favorites for this round. But they have to. They most definitely have to win this round. Just if they want to make it to double OT, much less win it. Alexander is no longer in the picture. A player over towards barrels will burn alive. Conan Kuhn now won't have a chance to make this happen. It's going to be all up on Rin. He's had a fantastic game of his own. Mazzy will come in to join all the action here, but this is going to have to be one hell of a retake if Cyberstorm want to come out on top of this round, or on top of this game in this round. It's not looking likely. Mazzy Wu, pull off another performance. I know you can do it, but maybe this is too tall of an order. 1-on-3. He can't even spot one. They're playing hide and seek, and, well, it's more of a game of Marco Polo at the moment because they found Marco. He's pulling his team back into this one. It's 2 kills, but the refrag is perfect. And that will be another one. 14 Clarity here, inching ever closer to that double OT. I might have just jinxed it, but this round, obviously it's going the distance, but I did not expect it to be this close. I knew that this was going to be a good game. That's why I decided to cast it, but my lord, this is delivering in more ways than one. Incredible multi-kills, incredible everything, and incredible water control taken so damn early from Team Clarity. I didn't even have time to get done with my fancy flybys. But Kitty is going back to his favorite place to be, tucked in a cubby over at water. It's his home at this rate. At this point. Alexander watches for any jump peaks. This is a spot that you see Dupree often play. And he's so damn good on the trigger. Both these players. Looks like Team Clarity want to slow down the pace considerably here. Maybe they're thinking back now on just how, good historically their luck has been over towards the A site. Maybe they want to try it there, but Bomb is having second thoughts as it rotates its way back over towards B. Still well over, 50 or there's well over 30 seconds. Still plenty of time for a rotation to come through. That's what I'm really trying to get across. But utility is pretty telling in its own right. Caber flashes his teammate through. Leading the charge will be Heedy again, the entry fragger. But Anti might have a real tough challenge on his board here. He'll deliver in kind though, pick up one. He dances around, weaves around the pillars. He finds 3. Anti, he is massive and might have just found the key to victory for Cyberstorm. It's looking to be 19-17 unless Spammer can come up with something unbelievably clutch. But I think this might just be a done and dusted game. It was so close to the bitter end, but Spammer, surely you can't win this one. It's a 1-on-2 now, but he has no time to play with here. And he will be put out of the round. Cyberstorm, they outlast Clarity. And my god, What a performance from some of these players on both sides. That was one hell of a slugfest either way. I have so much respect for all of these players. That is all for me for tonight. I was not expecting that game to be so quick, but man, was that not a pleasant surprise. I am going to call it relatively soon. Actually, I'm going to call it right here, right now. My voice is a little bit worn out from today as well. I'm just going to call it. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Ito, and I will see you very, very soon for more Counter-Strike action. If you liked it, feel free to drop a Twitch primer or something like that. But if not, that's also cool. I'm just happy you guys have tagged along to watch this match with me. I'm going to go ahead and eat some food because I'm very hungry. We'll see you guys very, very soon.